Hey Blitzers, welcome back to the channel. It's Ronan, and we got a couple of fun replays for you today of the E5 and Armor. Thank you so much for sending the replays. This is a great tank and a great reminder that new tanks have come along. The Kranwagen is here. We also have the AMX M4 MLE. We have the VK90, of course, and some others. I guess those aren't that new. But I want to tell you guys that I still think the E5 is one of the absolute best and most useful tanks in Tier 10. We have got Armor today at New Bay, and kicking off right there is a beautiful shot into the neck of the E100 just below the turret. I personally would have used heat there instead of taking the risk, but Armor makes that shot work as well as he does on the side of that Emil too. Now if you look at the match, if you look at the mini-map real quick with me, you'll notice that two of Armor's idiot friends, I'm kidding, the teammates, went over to A. He's got a light there in the middle doing God knows what, and then four of them are at where they should be between C and B in the park. Beautiful shot there. Notice that because of the incline there, the upper position, Armor had no problem penetrating the Emil 2's turret, which is fantastic. So a terrific shot there coming right here at the bottom of the Foch, showing just the terrific cannon this tank has. You know, if you calibrate even without all the extra rations and boosters, your pen is 374 for the heat, and 271 for AP. It's just terrific pen values, allow you to just get into this tank and really make a lot of damage. You've got 1.81 or so aim time with the tank, depending on how you run the tank. So just a terrific aim time, one of the better heavies, and 0.285 dispersion if you use the refined gun. So you've got yourself a terrific gun, which is different than the IS-4. I think there's a lot of comparison to the cannons, although if you really look at the gun handling, the E5 is just so much better. Obviously, the armor of the E5 is not the armor of the IS-4, nor is it been blessed by Stalin to bounce ridiculous shots. But nonetheless, here we go. So it's a 4-on-5. Armor's team has been behind the whole time, mainly because they split and got wiped over at A. The bigger problem for Armor and his teammates right now is also the points. It's 655 versus 440, and they have two bases capped. The E100 clears the Maushin, and now we are at a 3-on-5. So how does Armor pull this off? Well, some great gameplay, and it started with that ridiculous non-scope shot that I loved. I mean, I didn't love it that much. Armor, you need to scope those in, but really in the position you were in. Now, this is the move of the game. A lot of people would have face-hugged the E100 or done whatever. Armor uses his brain here, takes off and bounces the shot there, takes out the Conqueror, rams the Emil, gets a little bit of help from the T92, and just like that, you go from a 4-against-5 or a 3-against-5 to a 3-against-2. That was the move of the game, Armor. You won it for your teammates based on that. And another thing you did there, Armor, I think, which was just terrific gameplay, especially for those starting out, is use that crack speed boost, the heavy speed boost. Back to the game, we've got still a 3-on-1. Armor's teammates are very low on health. You got the T92 there, who doesn't seem like he is quite clued on to what's going on in the world. Armor wisely caps B. You don't know where your enemy is here. And there is a T57 heavy with at 1,935 hit points. You saw that T82 is basically out of hit points completely. And so Armor's gonna have to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. He himself has done a terrific job of conserving HP by staying hull down. This tank has got a terrific turret and good armor in general, that if you stay hull down, you'll make it a nightmare for people to ping you. And I think that's a lot of what he did. He only blocked 1,200, but he caused a nightmare for the team. Armor gets in a face hug with the T57, which is arguably a good move. You could bounce one or two of the shot. He had plenty of hit points to spare, and once the E1 or the T57 goes onto the clip reload, as he is here, you can just tear him apart. And I think what Armor also has coming for him is, in addition to the speed boost, you also have the reactive armor here. So the reactive armor also reduces your hit points. He didn't need it there. It was an easy win after they got the 3-on-1 going there. Terrific game, Armor, and as you can see, another beautiful mastery here. 5967 damage, 4 frags, 1609 base XP. Tore him up, and great use of the tank in the park. That's how it's done. Next match here, we go to Fort Despair, and Armor himself found a V, Void Tune in the opposite. He's got his friend from Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, Awesome Tanker 1, and Armor tearing shit up. So Armor goes to the middle here of the fort, classic spot for a hull down tank. Again, Armor is doing one thing that it's probably maybe one of the top 5 skills in Blitz, is know where to go. When I watch people like Rebel or Garage and Gent and Lek, And some of the better players out there, I noticed one thing all the time. They know where to go to sit and maximize the position of the tank. And this is one of those spots with, you got -9 gun depression. I wish it was -10, but it's 9 on the wonderful E5. And this is just a great spot. So you see Armor there sustains 0 damage. They clear a tank, a stupid tank. Armor then gets a very lucky bounce there, and he's able to go reposition without max damage here. And here, he's doing some reverse side scraping. Maybe he's been playing with Wi-Fi. I'm just kidding, but actually it's working there, and he gets another very fortunate bounce from the E75, who looks like he's an idiot based on his performance in the game. Armor, watch that aim time, does get a bounce, and another nice little thing about the tank is it is just low enough. I mean, this tank is a higher tank. It's not a low tank like the IS-4. It's a little bit higher, but you can still get behind. If you're here for despair and you have a tank this low with a turret like this, you're good. Now, I will say Armor got a little lucky. When he was up there, I'm surprised that the Chieftain didn't beat the hell out of the side of his turret. But he was fortunate there, and generally swizzling around helps. All right, we've got ourselves a 6-on-4. At this point, this Void Tune is struggling to make this happen, probably because they have a bunch of idiots as teammates. As you notice, the E75 there. And Armor is still just holding the spot. They got B-capped. He's getting excited about might acing. I would just recommend Armor. That stuff doesn't work half the time for me. When I think I'm acing something, I normally hurry up and fall over a cliff and die by mistake or something. So, but good for Armor for keeping track. Already 2,200 damage here, and he saw this one coming. He could smell the blood. Nice shot into the 363 on the E50M from Void. Smart use of there, and then backing up. Let your teammate do some work. Armor, I will say, really uses his teammates here and puts a lot of trust in the teammate. But I didn't look up Austin Tanker how good he is, but clearly the guy knows what he's doing. There is the other Void Tune. That was, they clear the 50M, and there is the Chieftain MK6 Royal from the other Void Tune. Armor here makes a mistake, which I'll point out just to help. He gets a nice shot there in a low roll, unfortunately. That Chieftain is a great player, obviously in Void, or a good player, I assume. Armor does not scope the shot on Armor. You've got to scope shots in, and that was a shot that you should have nailed 19 out of 20 times. And then Armor just leaves. Now, it is a 2-on-1, I get it, but if you got a Void player, it's 3-on-3. You might want to just clear him with your tune mate. I would have just hung back there, taken one more shot. At the end of the day, it didn't matter, and Armor was able, because he pushed the way he did, which, I mean, you could argue that move one way or the other. He was able to clear this Jagdpanzer E100, which is important because that big beast there, with support from the VK90, could have done a lot of good. And that VK90 is full health. I didn't look this guy up either, but I enjoyed watching this. And, if you guys are turning off the video, don't. This is pretty funny. So, again, I need to look up this awesome tanker guy, but Armor is asking here for help so he can get the mastery. And I don't think his friend was really doing that, but what his friend was doing was hilarious. He was just HEing, shooting HE at the VK90's track and just continually perma-tracking him, as you can see there. Which, with the VK90, I lost a one-on-one to this. Linus was with me. That was one of the worst losses I've ever sustained. The VK90's got incredibly troll armor. This guy had full health. And I know Armor was doing this for the mastery, but at the end of the day, this is teamwork, guys. I mean, they're tracking the snot out of this guy and pounding him from both ends. Armor's asking for the help, but Armor's also protecting his teammates, as you see here. He's got the crack speed going right now, and he's just pounding this guy, and this guy just has no idea what to do or how to do it. And the guy's just good teamwork. Just you keep tracking him. And let it go, and then Armor gets another, and notice how hard it is to pen the E100 when that thing starts wiggling around. Very, very difficult tank to pen. Armor gets another shot there, and we are just about done here. I would just tell you, KFC man, great job, nice help to support there to give Armor another couple thousand damage. So the E5, guys, if you don't have it, you got to get it. One of the best tanks in the game. 6,600 damage, 3 frags as well, and just a terrific game and against a tough tune. Thanks for watching. Please sub to the channel. Armor, big thanks for the replays.